Paul?
Okay, ready, go.
Okay, Joe, thanks for joining us when I came and announced it, and you signed up. I was so thrilled to. Paul and I had this idea. We really want to hear from elders uh, their story of how they discovered the valley, how you got here, and anything else you want to tell us about it. So, what brought you? How'd you get here?
Well,
Well,
yeah, well,
first, tell your name.
yes,
I don't know that we
I
did that.
go,
You get it.
my name is Joe Deanna, and I am a singer-songwriter, guitar player. I'm also a dancer.
Oh, oh,
So in order to talk about how I came to the Valley, I have to give you a little bit of
oh,
backstory.
perfect.
It's always like that. So I'm originally from Palo Alto, Menlo Park area. And in the late 80s, I wanted to study dance with Anna Halperin here in Marin.
Oh, right.
And so I came out in 89 and took the Tamalpa course, which was amazing. And I ended up afterwards living here. I moved, I was living in Mountain View, and I'm going to stay here, and I ended up living in Fairfax. But the whole time I was in Fairfax, so that was 89. And I've been in the Valley now for 12 years, going on 12 years.
Oh.
So I'm still a newcomer, right? I'm a newcomer.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing. So the whole time I lived in Fairfax was about 15 years. And every time I drive out, to go to Point Reyes, which you got to do, I just always said, I really have to live out. I have to live out here. This is where I want to live. This is where I want to live. I was just called to it. No, it's not family member, no, nothing like that. It was simply a feeling of being called to Marin in general, and then out west. I knew about Point Reyes, and I really loved it there too, but I was really attracted to the valley because of this sort of gentle landscape, the rolling hills and the sun and the verdure. I mean, it's so green and lush, and the streams and the rivers. Very attractive to me. Reminded me a lot of early days of Palo Alto, Menlo Park, when I lived there as a kid. I mean, now it's Silicon Valley, completely different. But back then, it was semi-rural. Where I lived in West Menlo, and you could walk across country to school. Had a more of a country feeling. I lived by a creek, under oak trees, by an orchard. It was, very reminiscent. I think it immediately, being out here reminded me of when I lived in West Menlo in the 50s, early 60s. I think that's really what attracted me. I guess I was also, I grew up in the 60s, so I was really attracted to all the rock musicians in San Francisco, the 60s, and I knew they all lived out here. And there was a big exodus from the city. People moved out here. So that kind of had that counterculture attraction too, because I am a musician. And in fact, I did study guitar with Jerry Garcia in Palo Alto. I was a guitar student, and in fact, in Menlo Park, I lived right around the corner from him when he and the Dead lived in the Chateau on Sand Hill Road. So I lived around the corner from him, and I took lessons from him. And then I moved to Marin. It's like I've been following him. But I think I'm getting off point. What I'm trying to say is there was a time when I was living in West Fairfax. I didn't like the situation. It was a big multi-unit apartment complex, and I was going crazy. So I said I'm gonna look for a place immediately. And I was just very, 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 very lucky that I called about a place that was here in the valley in Forest Knolls, and I came over like right away to look at it, and I was immediately became the tenant. It was very 1, 2, 3, very fast. I was really lucky, and I've been there ever since.
And you're still in the same place?
Same place. My landlord said, "You're going to like this place," and he was right. You know, it's a little cottage with it's perfect for me and my cats. It's a little cottage with a deck and a garden and like 1/4 acre of land all around and a porch and beautiful views. And the funny thing is, the reason I wanted to do this interview is there's a kind of a weird coincidental synchronistic thing, cosmic, whatever you want to call it, because when I used to drive out here all the time from when I lived in Fairfax, I'd say, "Oh, it'd be so great to live out here," and I'd always go and look at this one place. My eyes would go directly to this hill or this meadow between Tamal and Arroyo, this little sort of clearing, and I'd see houses sort of up on a hill, and I said, I like that place. I want to live there. Something about that place really attracts me. Well, when I called to about this cottage, you know, when I lived in Fairfax back in 2010, and I called about the rental, I go there and guess what? It was right there in that place. That's why I wanted to do this interview. That was weird. Okay, yeah. But what's even weirder is that it's right. I mean, because from my kitchen window or my backyard, I can literally look up and see where Jerry Garcia died at Serenity Knolls.
Oh.
It's just, you know, it's just funny how our lives kind of went like this. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's just something about the place, and then I was suddenly drawn here, and then I got a place here. I thought that was really coincidental. So, and then the first few weeks that I lived here, when I first moved here, interesting things happened. You know, you're not going to believe. I mean, these are weird things.
Okay, go.
Like, I started seeing everything as if it was 60 years ago. Everything I saw was like, I don't know if it was like some kind of a hallucination or what. I wasn't on, but I kept seeing everything as if it was the past, you know. And I thought I was in a time warp or something. You know, it was funny how that happened. It's like I could see everything how it was, you know.
Another time.
At another time.
Uh-huh. Were you in the house when this was happening or outside? Do you remember?
I was walking around the town. I mean, I was looking, you know,
I see.
exploring my environs. I was
Got
exploring the neighborhood, and I'd get on foot and I'd walk around the town, and I'd look at people, I'd look at places, I'd think, wow. And I would just go back in time, you know, way back in time. And that whole Jerry Garcia thing. And then I also, you know, I'm a big fan of Kate Wolf, and I've played many of her songs. She used to live here too, songwriter. And within the first few months that I lived here, I was looking in the San Geronimo resource guide you know. And in that resource guide was some lyrics of Kate Wolf that were put there by her widower, Terry Fowler. Just the lyrics, San Geronimo Valley, and they were the lyrics to a song that I thought were, well, I looked to see if it had been written, but it was never written that I know. It was never published. So I felt the urge to write the music to the lyrics because she's I'm a big fan of Kay Wolf, and I've played many of her songs and really love her. So I wrote the music, and I thought it turned out really well. It's about, I mean, she took the words right out of my mouth about how beautiful living here in San Geronimo Valley is. Really it's a beautiful, beautiful lyrics. And I think I did her justice. Everybody says so anyway. And I got permission from Terry Fowler and her publishing company to, to publish it publicly on YouTube, to perform it. So it's now on YouTube.
Oh.
It's if you search for San Geronimo Valley.
It's on YouTube?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Paul, want to see that?
It's a video that was made by a professional videographer that I was at home, and he videoed me singing the song. So it gives credits and everything. And that's one of my most played songs on YouTube. I mean, it's got a lot of views. So I'm glad I did it. But it was just funny what happened the first few months within the year that I lived here. It was like it was meant to be. So I don't know if I have anything else to say, but it was just an interesting coincidence that I found this place.
Mm-hmm. I
just
like
using my intuition, just using what's.
I was going to just remark. I met Kate Wolf.
Oh.
I didn't know she was a singer. And I met her when she came up to me, and she knew that we had a house full of American Indians that when they were coming through from back east or the south, they always had a place to stay. And we had some ceremonies from some very special people, and big names in their community. And she happened to find out about that, and we met and talked. I didn't know she was a singer. And she came to one of the early community center fundraisers where we had the fundraiser we needed to get $1,000 for the annual insurance. And so we had the fundraiser. It was the Christmas Art Festival. That was a kind of a fundraiser. And she came on the second day. It used to be 3 days at that time. She came into the middle room, had a guitar. I didn't know she played or had it for somebody else. And she said, "Gene, I want to sing a song for you."
Oh.
And she got in the corner of the room, middle room, and she started to play. And it was "Give Yourself to Love."
Oh.
That one that's very popular.
Yeah.
And she sang. I had no idea. We became really good friends. And when she knew I was a professor at a college, and during the Easter break, she got a hold of me early, and she said, "Gene," she said, "I'm starting my career all over." She had this thing that she was talking about. I'm starting or whatever it was, and I didn't know half what she was saying. And she said, "I'm going back to New York, Washington, and I'd like you to come along." And during that 9-day break, and I said, "Well, what do I do?" She says, "You just get me stuff I need." And I said, "Oh, that's a gopher." She said, "That's right." I said, "Okay." And she said, "Can you sell records?" I said, "I'm really good at it." And so I went back with her.
Wow, great.
And her guitarist,
Nina?
Nina Gerber.
Yeah.
Nina, oh.
She was there too?
Could she play?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Nina Gerber. I mean, she was something else.
Yeah, she
And so
still is.
we were, yeah, I'm sure she is.
She's over.
And so we were in, we stayed above the park there, and everybody was giving her a place to stay, and we stayed, and that 9 days just was dynamite, Paul. It was just absolutely dynamite. My big thing was to sell records, and I sold them. I was good at it. I just sold records like crazy, and or tapes. Maybe it was tapes. It was not records. I'm not sure.
Back then, probably.
But I'm not sure. I can't. I have to think about that. But when we came back, she needed a place to stay. Your place, Grandpa's house, the tenant had just left. And she asked me, do you know of a place? I said, we have a rental on Tamil Road. I said, it's very small. She said, well, what I'm really looking for is a place where I can have a studio. That's what she wanted. So we met out there, and she moved in. That's where she had her studio. We became really good friends. She you know that blanket that she bought me? She was always buying people things. When I was on the trip, she bought me these gorgeous earrings. She bought me a little jar thing, and she's just very generous.
Yeah.
Very, truly generous, right from the heart.
Yeah.
And so I loved that relationship. And when she became sick, and I went to see her in the hospital, and that was a really sad time.
Very
and
sad.
I came in, and Jean, she said, I want you to have this dress. I want you to have my shoes or boots. I have this blouse that I have as a picture of it on this tape. I want you to have this blouse. She gave me clothing, and her shoe I still have.
Amazing.
Yeah, I still have this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And she was just so dear. I just loved. I loved Kate.
A well-loved songwriter.
Very
sad.
Truly yeah.
My ex-husband and I used to sing her songs in our gigs all the time.
Yeah.
We were felt close in spirit, just singing the song.
I have, I don't know if you, in my office, one of my special pictures is her and I wrapped in a blanket that she bought me. The two of us have the blanket around us, and I love the photo. I have these special photos, and that's one. So when you bring up her name,
you have a lot of memories of her.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, going back east and living, and most people don't.
No,
I never. I don't much talk about that, and then Terry Fowler. And then some ups and downs in that relationship, which
really?
was unfortunate. And but Kate was very open and moved on.
Okay.
She was a really remarkable lady.
She really was.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not that well known, big songwriters out there, commercial, but she.
No. They're having that in the north. I've forgotten what the place that is. They'll be having a Kate Wolf get together again. They do it every year.
I go
before the pandemic.
I go every.
Do you?
I have gone since the beginning. The first one, which was held in a winery in Sonoma somewhere.
Yeah.
Mark West Winery. One of those. Right. The first one was held there. I went to the very first one. I went all the way every single year until a few years ago when the prices went. The prices went way up, and the crowds went, and they got all these people that were. It just changed,
It changed.
Everything.
Yeah.
It started to really change.
Yeah. That's what Sarah Wright. Sarah, the attorney in Woodacre. She loved Kate Wolf, and they too, Sarah and her husband Mel, they every year they'd go up, and she'd tell me about it. She'd go up, and I said, Sarah, I have this blouse that Kate has on one of her she's wearing the blouse in one of these tapes, and I said, "Would you like to wear the blouse up there?" And she did. She wore Kate's blouse up there, and I had I have Kate's boots. She gave me a dress that she rarely. This wonderful blouse that's on one of her tapes that I recognized, and she gave me her boots, and she also gave me rubber shoes to wear in the mud.
Oh, nice.
She says, "These are for you too."
Great for the valley. Yeah.
So I have these little things. So talking with you brings back these wonderful memories.
And I used to live in Santa Barbara for a while too, because I went to school down there, and so I lived there for about 8 years. And I knew this group called the Cache Valley Drifters. They also played with Kate Wolf, so there was a connection down there.
I'm not familiar with. Oh, okay.
Cache Valley Drifters.
Okay, all right. Well, how wonderful to hear what you remember, and
mostly music connections here.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. Are you doing music now?
Well, I just put out my 4th album.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to know the truth, I just put it out. Do I have it with? Yes, I do. Should I hold it up?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute.
It was just released. Yes, actually, I have my 4th album. It was just released in February, late February.
Is that right?
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. It is quite a feat, especially, I was so frustrated with COVID isolation. I had to do something.
Yeah.
And that.
And this was it.
That's incredible.
This is my.
It really is.
Do you need me to come closer or anything?
No, I got it zoomed in.
This is Ocean in Your Eyes, and that's the name of the album. And the photography is by Irene Young of the East Bay. She's a pretty well-known photographer. It goes back to all the hipsters in the 60s, and she's done a lot of music photography.
Wonderful.
And we also did a music video of Ocean in Your Eyes, the title track, at North Beach in Point Reyes.
Oh, wow.
So if you look on YouTube and you search for Ocean in Your Eyes, or my name, Joe Deanna, Ocean in Your Eyes, you'll see our music video, which was filmed at North Beach in Point Reyes. That's why I love
Ocean in Your Eyes?
Yeah, Ocean in Your Eyes.
Uh-huh. Great.
It's
Wow.
co-produced by Ben Leinbach of San Anselmo.
Oh.
He also works with the Jai Utah quite a bit.
Great.
That's my news.
Perfect.
Joe, thank you very
Thank you.
much for the interview and
It was fun.
reliving some of our beloved Kate Wolf. That was just wonderful to talk to you about your connection and reliving my connection, and also what you're doing right now. Just great. Thank you.